Hello and welcome back to the Pixel Street Podcast. This is episode 235 of the show. The title of this episode is Video Games, with a period at the end. The main reason being because we don't have anything to talk about. All the news related stuff is all kind of minor, I would say. Would you agree, John? Oh, wait, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Oh, oh,
Okay, now the people can hear you, John.
yeah. Yeah, what I was saying is news right now is kind of small. I mean, we just got out of not E3 and the Xbox and FTC stuff was last week, so maybe next week we'll have more to talk about. But right now, I don't know. We're just kind of going off the. We're just going with it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, most of the major things to talk about are all around the Xbox FTC stuff. And, like, we brush along the broad strokes. We're not trying to go in to see, like, what, Phil Spencer's email that leaked to Matt Booty had this, we're not going that in depth, right? Nothing's that juicy. They're all
I
talking
do
shit.
I
We all
do
know that.
have I do have an article up on Game Sandwich right now. Is the top 10 biggest news that we learned from the FTC versus Microsoft case. But so yeah, check that out on GameSandwich.com. But other than that, we're not going into it here. We're already tired enough talking about that whole deal.
Yeah, we've been talking about how tired we are for weeks, months,
Yeah,
almost years. Almost years, John.
yeah, it feels like it. That was announced early last year, so we're getting close to a year and a half of hearing about all this
It,
stuff.
it's wild.
Hmm.
It's wild. But yeah, anyway, this is the Pixel Street Podcast where each and every week me and John get together and we talk about, you guessed it, the FTC ruling on Xbox's purchase of Activision Blizzard and King. But yeah, anyway, you can find us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out the pinned tweet there to find all of our links to social media, including our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Pixel Street Videos, where we post all of our podcasts. We stream them live like we're doing right now. Um, yeah, we typically stream live on Wednesdays, but we're doing Thursday this week, mainly because like the holiday got my week all messed up, John. All messed up. But
I think, well, I don't have a lot going on right now, so I guess it didn't really mess me up. I guess my whole life is just messed up at the moment, so whatever.
that's
But
how
yeah,
it be sometimes. That's how it be sometimes.
you right there, person listening to us, if you're listening to us on Spotify and other podcast stuff, I guess you can't see me pointing at the camera. You could watch our show live, like Brandon Addison is in the YouTube chat right now.
Brandon Addison always in the YouTube chat, always
Yeah,
there. I
he's
don't
my
even have
boy.
to look. I don't even have to look, and I know he's there. He's always
Yep,
there.
it's my boy.
But anyway, you can also check out that pinned tweet to join our Discord. Send us pictures of your dog. Um, that's it. Just send us a picture of your dog, and you can just be on your merry way, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, you heard about this thread thing?
So okay, I know it's a thing made by Facebook, but it's like a Twitter knockoff.
It's so it's a Twitter knockoff. It is technically made by Facebook, but like it's under the Instagram branding, right? So like because Instagram is owned by Facebook.
Hmm.
So like they made this other app called Thread or Threads. I don't know exactly what the name is. But to sign in, you could sign in with your Instagram account, and it just carries everything over, which is pretty seamless and nice. Yeah, it came out today, July 6th, which it's fine, I guess. It's basically. Oh wait, I have double audio.
Oh,
Hold on.
fool.
All right,
Uh,
maybe. Okay, yeah, I have single audio now. Dude, this podcast, we're off to a. Dude, if this podcast was a video game, it would be not quite the Cyberpunk launch. It would be like when Master Chief crashes onto the first Halo ring at the beginning of Halo 1. That
yeah.
that's where we're at. It's a crash
Okay.
landing.
Out of that situation, who's living? You or me? Which one of us is Master Chief, and which one of us is the rest of the
Well,
crew?
that's the beauty of co-op is that we both live.
Oh, okay.
Everybody
I
else dies,
do you
including
ever
Brandon Addison.
do you ever hear about the theory that it was Master Chief that killed all of those people on board because he wouldn't get buckled in?
How did that kill all of them though?
So the theory is, okay, so they all jump onto the escape pod and they're going towards the Halo ring. And Cortana's like, "Do you want to get buckled in?" And he's like, "We'll be fine." The theory is that when they crashed, that he like kind of ricocheted all over the place and just like smashed them with
That's
his heavy armor and killed
that's
them
quite the
all.
theory. Like I would believe
Right?
that he killed one or two people that way. I wouldn't believe that he killed like all 10 people on the ship, including the
Right.
people in the cockpit.
Well, I mean, it was an escape pod. It was just all. It was like just one small room for them.
I don't think it was an escape pod. It was a
Yeah,
like
it was.
it wasn't? I thought it was a Pelican.
No, it was an escape pod.
Halo 1 beginning. I'm
Yeah.
looking it up. I'm looking it
So,
up.
look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Let's look into all the innocent human lives that Master Chief has ended on top
Halo
of all
1
the lives.
land on Halo first time. I don't know how to find exactly what I'm looking for.
You could just I don't know,
Um,
just put like the end of chapter, just like put like a chapter one play or yeah, the first level playthrough, and then like scroll all the way to the end.
well, I'm looking. I'm looking. I found something.
I love
All
I
right,
love
I
video
got it
games.
up.
All right.
So here's the thing. It is like an escape pod, but there is a cockpit.
Yeah, but it's all right there.
So somebody is piloting this vessel, John.
Yeah, and they're all dead.
Even the ones that flew out, though. Like, did he unbuckle them when he was bouncing around?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like those guys were strapped in, and now they're just on the ground there. Like maybe the UNSC had just really under budgeted their escape pods, and those buckles like came loose, and that's how they ended up on the outside.
I don't know, man. But yeah, back to Threads. It's
Oh
this new app. I'm on it. You can find me Campo63 underscore because that's my Instagram handle is Campo63 underscore, which is really dumb, John, because I changed my Instagram handle at one point to Mr. Finish Line for like 2 days. And then I was like, I'm going to switch it back. Somebody had stolen it in that 2 days, Campo63. And
yeah,
it's like a
it was
50-year-old woman. Like, what the fuck? Give it back to me. Who are you? Why are you here?
is it your mom? Did she
No,
steal it?
it was not. But yeah, that's Threads. I'm on Threads. Maybe we should make a Pixel Street thread. We'll see if the app sticks or not, and go from there. I guess.
Cool. All right. Well,
News,
yeah.
John. Any of it?
No, we got no big news right now. I mean, do you want to just run through quick news right now and just get it over with? And we
Sure.
can
I'll
just talk
I'll
about
I'll, I'll
other
rifle
shit
them off.
for the rest of the time.
So Diablo 4 announced their season 1 is going to be launching July 20th. Do you know how the seasons work in Diablo, John?
All I've ever heard about with that is that you have to like make a new character every time, and that kind of threw me off. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah, so with every new season you have to make a new character and you play that season for or you play that character for that season. Because I apparently there's a whole separate map for the season. I don't really know how this all works. I've never really played it. Loops was trying to explain it to me last night. But yeah, they announced season 1 coming July 20th. I'm excited just because I'm super into Diablo right now. I've been playing a lot. We'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, season 1 coming July 20th. Pokemon Sleep got a new gameplay trailer, which is funny to think about gameplay for an app.
Gameplay. Mhm.
It pretty much just showed that it does everything every other sleep tracking app can do.
Mhm.
In terms of like, it'll record every time it hears you like talking in your sleep. That way you can play it back to yourself to see, what, like, I don't know, listen to what you were saying. Or you can also just track like times that you were awake when you should just be sleeping. I'll probably give it a shot just because, like, why not, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's a sleep tracking app. Maybe it could help. I don't know. Chances are it won't, and I'll delete it within 2 weeks. But Yeah, that got gameplay trailer. Grant Kirkhope says Banjo Kazooie isn't expecting to make a comeback anytime soon. John is crying inside.
I am. Well, okay. It should be noted that he's not a part of Rare. He's not a part of Microsoft anymore. But he was the original composer for Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie. Also helped with the GoldenEye soundtrack and all that. He was very ingrained in Rare games in the '90s. But he pretty much said that he doesn't think that there's a team that could take on a project like that right now, and he doesn't think that there's an audience for it right now. Which I'm just gonna point to pretty much everyone in our generation that grew up with a Nintendo 64 that has been begging for Banjo Kazooie to come back for 15 years now.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be awesome to see a Banjo, even if it was like a remake of an older game. I think it'd
That's the
be
thing.
awesome.
That's my thing is you the how you handle this kind of thing is first you remake the first game, the most popular one, to test the waters. And then maybe you do a Banjo Tooie remake if you want. You don't touch nuts and bolts, but then you're like, okay, now we're ready for Banjo 3. But what do I know?
Kind of like the Ratchet and Clank approach.
Or they like rebooted it.
Yeah, so they could do something like that.
Yeah, they could. There's so many ways that they could go. I mean, they're bringing back Fable. If fucking Battletoads can get a new game in what 2018, 2019, Banjo Kazooie can make a comeback.
That's a valid point. Sorry, I'm trying to do something on my Steam Deck. It's freaking out right now.
It's all good. I totally get that you don't want to be here with me right now. You want to
It
just
started. It started
enjoy
making
yourself.
noise. It started making noise and looked, and it's like, oh, you launched Hi-Fi Rush. I'm like, no, the fuck I didn't. What are
Don't
you
worry,
doing?
I'll just be playing my Switch here. Yeah, let's just have an hour long stream of us playing on our Steam Deck and our Switch.
Yeah, without showing what we're actually playing.
Yeah,
Um,
the reverse like kind of gameplay thing where it's only face cam but no gameplay shown.
I mean that's just going back to just like vlogging at that point. It's not even streaming.
Yeah.
It's like live vlogging. But yeah, moving on. Rumors of Red Dead Redemption 1 and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remakes are on the way. I saw tweets about this. Like, is this like official or are they just like very official leaks?
So the Red Dead Redemption 1 remake has been rumored for at least over a year right now. I was hearing about it like before the GTA 6 leaked last year. So that one is looking more and more like it's gonna happen. The Assassin's Creed one, that one I just saw recently. I don't know how official that one is, but yeah, I personally don't want either of these. I especially Assassin's Creed 4. Like I don't need that remake in my life. I know
I
a lot
think
of people
that
love it, but it's not my personal favorite.
I think that of the two of these, I think that Red Dead Redemption 1 needs a remake more than Assassin's Creed Black Flag, just because I've never played it, but like all the gameplay I've seen of it, it looks like it holds up, right? Like it doesn't look like it's aging really all that
Yeah.
much. Whereas Red Dead Redemption 1, there's kind of a case that could be made because it is kind of an older game.
Also, my thing though is that you can play both of these games still. Like they are playable on PS5 and Xbox Series X. So like, I don't know. It's not
But I
as
mean,
bad. It's not as bad as the Last of Us situation where we're like, no, this game absolutely did not need to be remade. Um, there are improvements that could be made in both areas, but it's not. Neither one
the
is like,
I think what hurts about this is that it shows that Ubisoft is now in the phase where they're like, all right, we're just gonna start remaking our old games or remastering them even.
yeah. I mean, they've been trying that with Prince of Persia: Sands of Time for years now, and look
Trying.
what's happening with that. So I don't trust Ubisoft with anything at the moment. They can't even get their most successful stuff right at the moment. So who knows?
True. Well, that's gonna do it for the news in general. No main news. Those are what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a dead time right now. Let's talk about coffee talk, Joel, because I see you put that down in your what to play. Are you playing Coffee Talk 1 right now?
Yeah. So I guess I'll just loop this into a conversation about my Steam Deck. I had FOMO about the the Asus ROG Ally. You know, that new like Steam Deck competitor that runs Windows.
Hmm.
Um, and the fact that it runs Windows pretty much makes it an Xbox Game Pass handheld because you can download Xbox PC games on Game Pass natively and play there. Um, and so like I really thought about picking one up, but then I was like, you know what? I'll wait because like I got the Steam Deck. I'll wait for like a Gen 2 of whatever these things evolve into in the next 3 years, and then go from there. So I installed Windows on my Steam Deck last week or 2 weeks ago, and I've just been downloading Xbox PC Game Pass games and just testing them out because I want to see like because like the Steam Deck is not as good as the Asus ROG Ally, right? But it still is capable of running a lot of games. But like the fact that it like Windows is not fully optimized for Steam Deck can like make a hiccup for some things. But I got it all running pretty well now to where I can just download a game. Like I downloaded Forza Horizon 5, launch it, and it's running at like 40 to 60 frames per second consistently. Like it's not like visually amazing looking. Like it's all on low settings, but I mean, I'm playing on a tiny screen, so like it looks pretty good. I also downloaded Need for Speed Unbound because that just hit Game Pass a few weeks ago. So I started playing that. That one ran a little rougher, but I haven't tried that in like a week or so. And since then, I've downloaded like updated like graphics card drivers and stuff for the Steam Deck's graphics card specifically. So I imagine that'll run a little better now. But yeah, Coffee Talk. I downloaded it. I started playing it because I'm going to Puerto Rico next week for a week, and I figured that would be a good like play on the airplane game, like nothing too crazy long, something I can just hop in and out of. Um, and yeah, and I mainly started playing it because the Respawn Aim Fire guys, I think it was Adam and Alex, were talking about Coffee Talk 2. And I was like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, that first one is a game that I wanted to check out. And I know you had talked about it before. Um, so I downloaded it and started playing it. And I'm maybe only like 30 minutes in. I'm not crazy far in because I want to save it for this plane ride.
Hmm.
And I'm enjoying it. I think it's a pretty cool game. Like the premise is pretty sick. I heard the ending has kind of a twist though, so
It
I'm
does.
excited to see what that's about.
It's very. It's one of the most chill games I've ever played, and it's you just play as this barista in this what's it called, uh, coffee restaurant thing, cafe. There we go. In Seattle, it only opens at nighttime, and the customers that come in, you like build a relationship with them and just like talk about their problems and stuff. And then, really, the only gameplay aspect of it is they tell you, "Hey, this is the kind of drink I want," and then you make it. Sometimes it'll be like suggestions. So like, "Hey, I want you to make something for me that's like bitter but also a little sweet," and it takes a little bit of thinking in those aspects, but you can just look up a guide if you don't really care about that stuff. It's very chill, very relaxing. Yeah, it's a very good game. I'm excited to hear what you think about that going forward. I've been playing Coffee Talk too, and I actually just finished that 2 days ago, I think. And it's the same thing. It's more of the same, which is good. The I want to say the guy that came up with the series died during the making of Coffee Talk 2. So that was sad. Who knows what's going to happen with the future of those games, but very good. I enjoy them a lot. It's not just like normal people coming into your store either. It's fantastical people. So you get like
Yeah.
elves, tieflings, and there's an orc, a werewolf, a vampire, just all these different kinds of people that come in, and they all have these very different views on life and everything. It's very cool. It's a game that when I saw Respawn and Fire like put it up for Barf, I was like, yes, you guys need to talk about this because I really enjoy this story. It's a good time.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I plan on playing it next week on my flights and stuff. The only issue is like the Steam Deck's battery life isn't amazing, right? Like I could probably play that game for 4 to 5 hours if I had to guess. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if that thing will charge on an airplane or not. I doubt it. So we'll see.
Yeah, Get one of those big like brick battery things, the portable
You
chargers.
know, I do have one. I don't know if it'll charge the Steam Deck, but I should try it out.
Yeah, might as well.
Cool.
Yeah. What else have you been playing?
Diablo 4. I've been playing a lot of Diablo 4, John.
Yeah,
Um,
you have.
like every day. It's what I'm like. I was cooking dinner last night, and while like the pasta noodles were cooking and the sausage was going, I had my iPad on the counter and I was remote playing Diablo in my kitchen. So yeah, that's tells a lot with how much I've been playing the game. It's one of those games where you can just listen to a podcast, which is what I was doing. I was cooking, listening to a podcast, and just doing side quests in Diablo. Because like, for me, like the main quests are the only ones I really care to hear about the story and lore for. I don't really
Mhm.
care about the side quests in Diablo as much as I would in like other games, like I don't know, like Assassin's Creed, right? Those games, the side quests are typically pretty cool and interesting, but Diablo, it's always like, oh no, so I lost my buddy John. He's over by the well. Can you go see if you can find him? And
And
then
then he
like
gets attacked.
yeah, and then it's just a giant blue circle near a well. You have to find the well, and oh, there's Johnny. Oh wait, that's not Johnny. That's a corpse. Oh wait, that corpse is coming to life, and he's got 10 friends for me to kill.
It is always the same story with their side quests. It
Yeah,
is
it's
constantly
like,
that.
and like there's some that are like slightly different, but it's all more or less just like fetch quests that end in you having to kill a bunch of demons.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I finished the campaign. The campaign's great. I love the story. All the cutscenes are amazing. There's a cutscene in the last mission that is like a 10 out of 10 cutscene. It's just so fucking cool. Um, so I'm looking forward to you watching that and letting me know what you think. But finish the story. I'm on World Tier 3 now. Um, I have a pretty good build going. Playing a Bone Spear Necromancer, and I feel like pretty unstoppable for the most part, which is fun. Um, yeah, I'm just in the grind, man, getting gear. It is like I found out last night about how in a new season you have to not delete your character, but you have to make a new character and play the new character for the new season. And it's like what's the like I don't I it's not quite clicking with me why that is. Like I get that like they want I don't know. I don't even know what they want. That's the
No.
thing. It's like so what's the point of like I have a buddy who has like a level 100 character and a level 75 character, right? And that in its own is probably like 100 hours of playing the game
Hmm.
between those two characters. Like what's the point of him having those two characters if he can't use them in the season?
Right.
I don't there's something there that's not clicking with me. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure I'll play the new season. It'll give me an excuse to make a new character. I wanted to make a new character, but then once I found out about this, I'm like, oh well, I'm not gonna do that until the new season comes out.
Yeah. What is even the season content though? Like I don't. What is so
I
special about the season content?
well, let's check out Kotaku.com.
Because
Diablo 4's first season brings new Eldritch quests, gear, and more. Blizzard has officially announced details on the first season of its popular loot-driven action RPG Diablo 4. The season of the Malignant launches July 20th and will feature new quests, gear, powers, and Varshan the Consumed, a new boss just waiting to be killed and looted. Released last month, Diablo 4. Okay, yeah, whatever. Let's see.
so it's just
What?
new loot grinds.
What?
It's just new loot grinds.
Yeah, what new in this upcoming? What? Well, it's supposed to say what's new in this upcoming Diablo 4 season. This new season, scheduled to launch July 20th, will include a new quest line revolving around the malignant corruption. Players will work with Cormond, a former priest of the Cathedral of Light, to learn why this is all happening and stop it at all costs. As part of this new update, players will also be able to explore malignant tunnels to search for and destroy a new boss, Varshan the Consumed. Players will also be able to loot 6 new unique items and 7 legendary aspects. Once the season launches on July 20th, players will have to create a new seasonal character, which Blizzard previously confirmed. Once that's done, you can start earning seasonal favor, a new currency that players get just by completing quests, killing monsters, and completing battle pass challenges. Players then use favor to make progress through the battle pass tiers. One thing to keep in mind is that only players who have completed the main campaign of Diablo 4 will be able to join in on the seasonal content and festivities.
So you have to be invested into the game already to really get into it. So yeah, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to make a new character. So, I mean, the annoying thing would be like, for instance, me and you, we're not going to be playing Diablo 4 for the next 6 months, right? And if there ever is a season that sounds interesting to us and we're like, oh, I want to jump back in, having to make a new character makes that infinitely harder to do. Because
Yeah.
not only do you have to make a new character, but to get to the point where you could probably kill this big boss that is in the DLC, I feel like that's a lot of hours of gameplay you're gonna have to do to grind gear and level to get up. I just don't understand. I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
if I make a new character for the season, and am I going to be able to go kill that big boss within 5 hours, or am I going to have to grind for 40 hours and then find a group to do it with? I don't know,
I
man.
I got other games to play. I'm not doing that. I enjoy Diablo 4. I think I like Diablo 3 better. To this point, I'm on Act 3 at the moment, and I'm at like level 31, 32. So I haven't been playing as much as some other people, but I do like it. Uh, this is definitely not a game that I want to go back to continuously and remake characters. Like I enjoy my time with it right now. I've been listening to uh I found a new podcast I've been listening to because of TikTok. What is it? The Backyard Basement, I think it is called. And
Oh, is that
it's
the backyard baseball guys? That no, am I crazy? I
no,
saw
not
I saw
Backyard
something on
Baseball.
Tik I saw something on TikTok where these people are just playing all the backyard sports games.
Oh, I'm a big fan of that. That does sound cool. Give me a second to find it. It's got something with basement in it. Uh, the Basement Yard is what it's called. And it's just these two guys talking about just random shit, and they give each other a lot of shit the entire time. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Um, yeah, so I've been listening to that, or I'll like hop into a party with you and just kind of grind through the main story. Uh, at first, I was like listening to all the story beats, but now I'm just kind of like, I don't care anymore. I've kind of been skipping cutscenes lately. I was gonna play it last night on my Xbox One X. That's in my room while I was laying down, but I was like, I had like a 6 gig update on it. I'm like, I'll just play some Kingdom Hearts instead. So I did that. So I don't know. It's not in the running for game of the year for me or anything, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, I've been having fun with it, and I'll probably keep playing it at least through part of the first season, I'd imagine, just to see
Hmm.
what that's all about, and then I'll probably fall off.
My thing is, I really enjoyed playing as a sorcerer in Diablo 3, and I'm not having as much fun on Diablo 4 playing as a sorcerer. I've already had to reset her skills twice, because first I was kind of doing like a jack of all trades thing. I was missing out on a lot of bonuses there, so I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll do fire. That looks like fun. And then I found out that fire kind of just sucks. Like I was getting my ass handed to me in the second act. I couldn't really do anything. I was like, well, this sucks too. So now I'm doing an electric based sorcerer this one has a lot of attack power, but she dies fast. So I always have to be like really careful about the damage I'm taking. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing with the necromancer is like the build I'm using is the bone spear build, which is like the best necromancer build you can have. But when you think of a necromancer, you think of like rising the dead and using them the minions, but with
Hmm.
this build, you don't use the minions at all. You have to sacrifice them to get more power, which is kind of weird that like it's like why have a necromancer if the build is going to be not revolved around these minions. And like I imagine that with every new season, there's going to be updates that change the meta and change like, for each class what you should be running, because that's how it is in most games like this. Like Destiny 2, for instance. Every new season, it's like, oh well, don't use Void if you're a Titan because it kind of sucks. You should probably switch over to Arc or something else. So yeah, I'm sure that that's going to be the case going
Hmm,
forward.
cool. Tell me about Dave the Diver, because I've been hearing a bit about it, but I haven't really looked into it at all.
So Dave the Diver is like a 2D, like 3D pixel hybrid type game. I streamed it last Friday, and I don't know what is going on with my computer, but whenever I stream a game now, everything fucking gets crazy. Like my audio was cutting out at times, my mic was cutting out. It was very frustrating. Um, but yeah, Dave the Diver, it's a really cool, like, the art style is awesome. It's only out on Steam, and I believe it's coming to Switch in the future, um, or later this year. I think they said. But basically, it's a. I don't even know how to explain this game. It's pretty funny. Like the humor in the game is great. Um, for instance, okay, so synopsis: you play this guy. His name's Dave. He's a diver. His buddy calls him up. He's like, "Hey, Dave, I need you to come down to wherever we are. I don't know, it's Hawaii or some tropical island, something." It's like me and my buddy. Fuck, what's his name? I can't remember his name. But me and my buddy were about to open a sushi shop. But we need you to come dive down and catch all the fish for the sushi shop. And then your guy Dave is like, it's like, oh well, I really like sushi. I'm in, and just packs up and goes. And like, so now you're helping run this sushi shop. So during the day you can dive twice. You're limited by your oxygen tank, and so you can upgrade that throughout the game with, I don't know if it's XP or currency. Oh no, it's currency because you're making money by selling sushi and stuff, depending on what fish you catch and whatever. So you get to dive down twice. You're restricted by your oxygen. You can upgrade your suit so you can go deeper, because your suit only lets you go so far down in the water. Just, because to be relevant, like the submarine, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have the right equipment, you're gonna implode like the submarine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so you're catching fish. You're getting side quests for, like, for instance, this chick comes up and she's like, "Hey, I'm doing a school project. I need you to find, this coral at the bottom of the ocean. These two colors. I need you to bring them back." So then there's side quests. There's main quests of like certain types of fish you need to catch down there. You can find like weapon blueprints down there and bring them up, and then there's a gunsmith guy who's like helping make weapons for you, and the weapons will do more damage against certain fish because there's fish that'll fuck you up. Like, I have a main quest right now
Sharks.
that's yeah, I have a main quest right now that's to get a shark head, and I just have not been able to take a shark down. It just kills me before I can kill it because I don't have powerful enough weapons. Um, so yeah, then you come back up. You deposit all these fish, all this loot and stuff, and then at nighttime so the sushi shop is only open at night. So at nighttime it almost becomes like a restaurant, like management sim in a way, where like think of like Overcooked, almost, like not in the art style but in terms of what you're doing. People are coming in and placing orders, and you're running back and forth to the kitchen to give them their orders. Like people will order teas, you have to go there and you have to pour the tea perfectly. If you overflow it, I think you like get bad feedback. um, so yeah, I don't know, it's just so involved. Like there's a bunch of mini games in the game, and it's been so much fun. I can't believe it's only a $20 game. I would think that this game is like $40 at least, based on what I've played so far. At one point, like, at one point, this dude just comes out of nowhere, like walks off the side of the screen when I'm on the boat about to dive, and I'm like, oh, in my head, I'm like, that dude is dressed like Ash Ketchum, right? Like he's got the white sleeves, like the blue, like, I don't know, vest or whatever. It's like, oh, this guy looks just like Ash Ketchum, and I don't even know what the guy's name was, but he's like, let me teach you about this trading card game. and then he
Oh.
starts and then he starts telling me about how every fish I catch, I get a trading card for that fish. How there's rare fish, not rare fish, and so it's basically the game's way of tracking what you have and have not caught. but they just have it as like literally when you click on it, it looks like a Pokemon card, but with a fish. It's so dumb but funny. Um, so yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know where the story goes. I have no idea because I'm so early on. I don't know. It could be that there is really no story. It's just kind of a sim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there may not be an end to the story. I'd imagine there is an end to the story because like the this is like one of the first main quests I've gotten is to get the shark head, and that's to get it for a woman who is like a restaurant review critic, and she's there to review the restaurant. Um, but yeah, it's been fun so far. I'm that's another game I'll be playing on the way to Puerto Rico next week, and probably at nighttime in Puerto Rico on the Steam Deck.
Cool. I went back and I 100%ed Vampire Survivors this week. I
Nice.
so we talked quite a bit at the end of last year about how I was slow getting into this game. I was like, at first, I was like, man, this is kind of dumb. It just plays it for you. And then I kept playing. I was like, oh, this is addicting.
You hated the game at first. I remember
I
you played it and then you came back and you were like, I don't like this at all.
I wasn't a huge fan at first. I didn't quite understand it, but then it caught me and it caught me hard. I took a bit of a break, but yeah, I went back and I was listening to that podcast I was talking about and just like going through grabbing all the achievements. Game's really good. I feel like I am uber powerful now in that game. Like anyone I choose, I'm just like, yeah, fuck all you guys trying to get at me here. You got no chance. Yeah, so that was fun. I'm glad that I did that. Now, whenever they put out another DLC, I can go back and finish it off again. Other than that, I've played a little bit of Final Fantasy 16. I haven't played much this week. I picked it up last night for like the first time in probably about a week, I would say. Um, I don't really know what else to say about that than I haven't already. I do like that it's kind of a mix of Kingdom Hearts and Devil May Cry at times. Um, I'm sure I've been seeing some divisive things on it. Like you've got your people that are just diehard for it. Like, oh, I love this game. Everything about it is perfect. It's my game of the year. You're crazy. Tears of the Kingdom is. The voice acting is amazing. Like all these characters are great. And then I see all these articles that pop up. They're like, the way Final Fantasy 16 treats its women is wrong, and Sid is a bad character, and all these other things. I'm like, this is a very divisive game. It's a lot more divisive than I thought it would be before it came out. Of course, I knew next to nothing about it before it came out, but when you hear Final Fantasy 16 and you see all of the longtime fans like yourself that are super excited for it, I'm like, oh, this game is just gonna take off, and everyone's gonna talk about it forever in a positive light. But I'm seeing quite a few negative things thrown in there, which surprised me.
I mean, there have always been negative things about like the way that they portray the universe in Final Fantasy. Like for instance, there's almost never any colored people in Final Fantasy games, which is pretty controversial to make a game like that now. And like I guess the way that the director has explained now, I don't quote me because I don't know exactly what it is, but the way he explained it is like based on where the game is and takes place, like what we base it off of, like they just don't exist there. And like I feel like that's kind of a
Bullshit.
cop out. Yeah, that's kind of a cop
Bullshit.
out
They're for
action
definitely
answer.
colored people.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Like that's always been a part of the universe of Final Fantasy, I think, are like little things like that. Like yeah, they treat women like shit. Another thing that's like just doesn't make sense to me is like I guess minor spoilers for Final Fantasy 16. Like you learn this right at the beginning is that like there's bearers, right? Bearers are people that have a connection to magic. Would you say, John? Is that what you would consider a bearer?
Yeah.
To where like they can use magical powers in some way. For instance, the main character Clive, he's connected to fire, so he can like shoot fire magic spells at people and stuff. Um, and everybody in this world treats everybody who's a bear like absolute shit.
Well,
Like,
it's not the bearers, it's the branded. The branded are like slaves.
But it's bearers in general, because I got to a
Are all
point.
branded bearers?
Yes, all
Okay.
branded are bearers.
Okay.
I'm googling that just to make sure, but because I did a side quest where okay, not all bearers are branded. However, all enslaved bearers are called the branded.
Okay.
This is because they are marked with a black colored mark across their face. So they just hate bearers in general, not just the ones that are branded. Because I did a side quest where this woman had a baby, and then when she had the baby, found out that it was a bearer, and basically just got rid of it. Just gave it
Yep.
away to be a fucking slave, which is like, it's insane. Like, these people are so fucking cool. Like, you got to realize that at one point, these people who literally have magical powers are gonna fuck your world up and take over because you're treating them all like dog shit. It just
Hmm.
doesn't make any sense to me why these people think that it's okay.
Even where I'm at right now, so I just talked to this lady. She runs a brothel, and like I'm in her town now. And the only reason people will talk to me is because she gave me her like
Yeah,
symbol. But even with that, they're like, "Oh, you filthy branded." I'm like, "I
yeah,
don't know you."
yeah. It's doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any like you realize, John, if today, if I don't know, say you had another kid or I had a kid, and that kid was like you could tell it had fucking magical powers, right?
Hmm.
Like maybe for that first kid, maybe yeah, okay, this kid's a piece of shit. I'm not gonna say that. You're not gonna say that, but like the government's gonna be like, we need to contain this fucking beast. But once there's like dozens, hundreds of them running around the streets, like people are gonna be like, yo, don't fuck with the fire, dude. That fire kid's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, it does kind of. It, I going back to the whole like no colored characters in the game. How do you think this game would be received if they did have colored people in there and they were branded and actually like treated like slaves and stuff?
I have no idea. I
Like,
mean, it depends. If it was only colored people treated that way, yeah, it would be a huge problem, right?
yeah,
But who knows, man.
I don't know.
I got to
Yeah,
get back to that game. I kind of put it on the back burner because I caught the Diablo bug.
hmm
Um, so yeah, I'll get back to it for sure.
yeah. I don't see myself finishing it anytime soon. It's a big game. I looked up the list of chapters in it, and I was like, "Oh man, I've been playing this game for like 10 hours. I got to be like a third of the way done." And then I looked, and just like the chapter was just kept going on and on and on. I'm like, I just put almost 200 hours in the Tears of the Kingdom, man. I'm not putting that kind of time in the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I looked at that list and I think I'm about halfway done with the game. So
Mm. My okay, the one big complaint I have about this game, okay, it's a positive, but it's also a negative, is just how much of this game is cutscenes. Like I feel like I spend so long just watching the game, watching like the movie aspects of the game.
I love
A
it.
lot, a lot of those points are awesome, especially when it's like high action and a lot of cool things going. But yeah, I feel like just around every corner is a new cutscene, and I'm just like, man, I
I
kind of
love
want
it.
to
I'm here for
play
it.
this.
So like I love when games do that when the cutscenes are visually amazing, right? Like it's the worst when you play a game that's like that and it's like it looks like you're playing Ace Attorney, where it's just like stop
Whoa, whoa,
motion
whoa,
almost.
whoa, whoa,
Okay,
whoa.
John, you can love Ace
Oh,
Attorney all you want, but you don't want to watch a cutscene for 20 minutes that's in that art style.
yes, I do, because that art style is great, and the story is great and funny and touching and all this stuff. Ace Attorney is great. We need more Ace Attorney games in our lives. That's all I'm gonna say.
John, should we call an end to this podcast? We're at 45 minutes, which is longer than I thought we would do.
I know you have to be somewhere, so we can call it.
I don't have to be somewhere, but Kenny's coming to borrow a car, so I have to go give him the keys and stuff. So
Gotcha.
so I kind of got to get off shortly. So
So
yeah,
we got nothing to talk about. We've been just
exactly.
rambling for 45 minutes, so let's do it.
Well, that has been episode 235 of the Pixel Street podcast. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out our pin tweet there, and go to all of our other social medias like youtube.com/Pixel Street Videos, or our Discord, and send us a picture of your dog. Show us what collectibles you got. Send us cool pics. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Campo63. Twitch.tv/Campo63 or threads.net/Campo63_. I think that's what it is. John, where are you at on them internets?
On Twitter, I am at Revek Shadows. You can find my writing on GameSandwich.com. Right now, it is GameCube month in celebration of Pikmin 4 coming out here soon. We're looking back at the starting console that Pikmin came out on, so lots of GameCube content coming out.
Cool. We will be right back here next week. Well, I won't. I'll be out of town. John probably will. With episode 236 of the Pixel Street podcast.
Bye!